meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue. I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall, and if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.
Welcome to Open Mic America. I'm Daphne Ramil, your MC, and I am joined by Kim Alexander, our interviewing host, and Laura Bordowitz, formerly our MC, but today, again, she is our show engineer. Our mission is to support your local open mics, and it's our pleasure to present the more accomplished singer-songwriters who play at these events. Without gimmicks or frills, this is the beating heart of American music, that tapestry of story and song that's been weaving us together for generations. We have 10 performers tonight, and I will introduce them one by one, and they will wave for us. We have Mark Bishop Evans from Cathedral City, California. Deb Weslow from Belvedere, Texas. And we have Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. Larry Hicks from Pittsboro, North Carolina. We have Jan Luby, and I forgot to ask her how to pronounce this, but I'm going to take a wild guess, from Pascoag, Rhode Island. We have Rosemary Austin from San Jose, California. Matt Meehan from Portland, Oregon. Halelupe, also from Grand Junction, Colorado. Paul Colombino from Wakefield, Rhode Island. And Jim Pryts from Fairview, Oregon. And without further ado, let's begin our show with our first player, who is Mark Bishop Evans from Cathedral City, California. And he likes to play at the North Reading Community Coffee House and Fiddler's Dream. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you. It's a brand new song. It's about a week old. She opened the door and a smile touched her eyes. She couldn't have known I was there. I looked like a waif standing there in the rain, but somehow I knew she wouldn't care. She opened her arms and a tear touched her eye, and then she said, "Well, what have we here?" I gathered her up and held her close to my heart, and felt all the time disappear. The time disappeared. She invited me in from the night and the cold. Would you care for a warm cup of tea? Here, give me your coat. Can you stay for a while? Feels like it's been centuries. I couldn't but notice the passing of time hadn't touched her at all. and the joy of this girl I still loved wasn't hard to recall. How could we know that the love of a friend would run as deep as the sea? Take all the love that is there when you can, for life gives you no guarantee, no guarantee. We sat and we talked of the lives we had known, of all of the sorrows and all of the joys. We both had our share of stories to tell. Oh, by the way, how are your boys? It finally came around to the past we had shared, as we both knew it would. Remembering nights way beyond any dream, and sharing love that we could, the love that we could. Morning has come and we're still sitting here. The night in the past blown away. Turning, I saw she was looking at me. So tell me, how long can you stay? How could we know that the love of a friend could run as deep as the sea? Take all the love that is there when you can, for life gives you no guarantee. How could we know that the love of a friend could run as deep as the sea? Take all the love that you's there when you can, for life gives you no guarantee, no guarantee.
Wonderful tune, wonderful tune.
Wonderful song.
How beautiful.
Nicely done.
So now I'll totally depress you with this next song. This next song is called Honor, and it was instigated by what's going on in Ukraine. Honor some demand is free to every man, but I must disagree, for it more rightly seems to me that honor must be won, reward for something done. It surely has a cost, has been wagered, has been lost. Since first recorded time, this mass of human crime, like symbols etched in pain, the blood that falls like rain, clings to every cause, be it politics or gods, and man's torments of man lay countless as the sand. In Jericho and Rome, the atrocities were known, from Dresden's raging fire to pilgrim witches' pyres, from Hitler's cruelest gas to the Nagasaki blast. Why don't we despair in this wickedness we share? Rwandans and Armenians, the Kurd, and yes, the Jews, the Navajo, the Creole, the Apache and the Sioux, in Nanking and in Lebanon, Cambodia and more, in Congo and in Palestine, and don't forget Darfur, Namibia and My Lai, the death was also there. Stretches across the century, this endless trail of tears. And now another war to cleave the open sore, a rising bloody tide where children burn and die, where innocence is lost to another Holocaust, and armies come in force to nail honor to a cross. Rwandans and Armenians, the Kurd and yes, the Jews, the Navajo, the Creole, the Apache and the Sioux, in Nanking and in Nambia, Cambodia and more, in Congo and in Palestine, and don't forget Darfur, in Lebanon and My Lai, the death was also there. Stretches across the centuries, this endless trail of tears. Now honor some demand is free to every man, but I must disagree, for it more rightly seems to me that honor must be won, reward for something done, surely has a cost, has been wagered, has been lost.
Wow.
Oh gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
That's an amazing tune there.
That was great. Thank you so much, Mark Bishop Evans, for
So
sharing
timely.
your songs. And ask everyone else to mute while I ask Mark a couple questions. So you played 2 brand new songs for us, it seems like. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
Yeah, they're both in the last week.
That's amazing. Do you always write songs this prolifically, or are you particularly inspired
No,
right now?
well, no, I mean, sometimes they come in batches, sometimes they don't. I mean, I broke my knee a month ago, and so I've been housebound and laid up, and I've had nothing else to do, and so I have no excuses. So I've been I've been doing my best to use the time constructively.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
written 5 songs since the beginning of the year. That's a lot for me normally, but but I'll take it. I love it.
Yeah, that's well, and it sounds like maybe you could use a little rest. I was listening to an interview you gave late last year on the afternoon drive program with Drew Mulholland. Apparently, you were his first guest since the pandemic
Yeah,
in studio. So, congratulations on that.
thank you.
You sounded great on that show, by the way. I really enjoyed your songs and
Thank you.
your stories about your journey. I was wondering if you could share a little bit about your trip across the country and making your way back to California. And if you did, I want to know if you made it to Tucumcari or not.
Well, I actually did not make it to
Oh,
Tucumcari. Um, I took a detour. That was in the plan from the beginning. I mean,
oh,
you got to. I'm going across there. You gotta hit Tucumcari. But it turns out that I have a cousin that lives near Dallas, and I hadn't seen her and her husband for I can't count the years, for a long, long time.
mm-hmm.
And so I took that jaunt south instead of going across the top there. I took the jaunt south and went down to Dallas and the Dallas area and stopped and saw them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trip across country took like 6 days, and I did when I went east, I did 16, 18 hours a day driving. Coming
Mm,
this way, I did like 7, 8. But
that's better. That's a
yeah,
little more
better.
reasonable.
I was back east for 30 years, so
Yeah. Wow,
one
that's
whole.
quite a big change. That story about your take all the love that is there when you can love song that you wrote, was that about someone that you got
Yeah,
reunited
actually,
with
yeah,
here in California or
I've written maybe 3 songs out of everything I've ever written. 3 or 4 songs are actually targeted at for somebody, you know,
mm-hmm,
specific, and that song was written for somebody specifically.
mm-hmm.
Didn't start out to be that way. I mean, I didn't plan it that way. It just as I'm going through the song, I said, well, this kind of fits to that. Well, that works. We'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it ended up being about somebody. Yeah.
It was really beautiful.
Thank you.
I would love to hear more about your adventures. It sounds like you have a wide range of musical experience, including your gospel experience, which seems like it has brought a lot of inspiration to your music. So I want to congratulate you and thank you for sharing your songs with us. More round of applause for Mark
Thank
Bishop
you.
Evans.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kim.
so
I appreciate
much.
it. It's great being here.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim and Mark. And before we go on, Mark, I'm really glad. I wanted to say that somebody opened with a song in honor of or in sorrow with what is happening in Ukraine now, and of course in other parts of the world at other times and now as well. And um, even though we have our show going on as usual, the music doesn't just playing music together doesn't mean we are ignoring what is happening in a world. We are just trying to make part of it better and more bearable and keep our humanity. And thank you for that. So there. Um, and next we have returning to us Deb Weslow from Belvedere, Texas. She participates in the Dallas Songwriters Association virtual open mic and in an in-person Blue Bonnet song showcase at Backyard on Broadway. Take it away, Deb.
Thanks. Glad to be back. The first song I'm going to sing today is a song I wrote about my dad. He was a great musician, and I got a lot of my musical interest from him. Sitting with my dad on the piano bench, I was in front of the upright we spent. His strong hands moving together with mine, playing chopsticks and keeping time. Campfires with Peter, Paul, and Mary, 7/8 of such mo and dizzy. Seeing the course line of Broadway, fun reflections from those days. He gave me my life's soundtrack. How I wish I could just go back. Didn't matter what he'd hear. Dad could play any song by ear. Never had a lesson his whole life. An incredible feat in my eyes. From my childhood I knew I inherited Dad's musical roots. Music flows deep within my veins. Through me his legacy remains. He gave me my heart's soundtrack. How I wish I could just go back. Watching meticulously in the ivories, strains of boogie woogie playing. Times with my dad through the years are the memories I hold dear. He gave me my heart's soundtrack. How I wish I could just go back. His strong hands moving together with mine, playing chopsticks and keep in time.
Wonderful.
Oh, that was
That's
sweet.
beautiful, Deb.
It's a really
Wonderful.
sweet song.
Good job.
Great.
Big tribute. Beautiful.
The next song I'm going to play was actually a co-write with the talented singer-songwriter Mary Bragg at a Soldier Songs and Voices retreat back in 2019. I went to that retreat, and one of the things, this is actually the very first song that I had any writing with, and I wanted to write an upbeat cancer song of all things, as I'm a multiple cancer survivor. So I wanted to write something that was kind of upbeat to say you can move forward after cancer. So the song is called You Can Go. They'll tell you you're gonna lose your hair. You'll be thinking that life's so unfair. When you get the news, you think it's the end, but your new normal's about to begin. You can go where you thought you'd never go, 'cause you know that the light is gonna show up for you, no matter what. If you put one foot in front of the other, you can go. You can go. if it helps you through, it'll just slow you down. Wondering why it's happening to you. You can go, go, go where you thought you'd never go. 'Cause you know, know that the light is gonna show up for you. No matter what, if you put one foot in front of the other, you can go. You can go. Go write a novel. Go be a model. Show how you rock that turn. Go fly fishing. Go on wishing. Ride that star and let it burn. You can go. You can go. You can go, go, go where you thought you'd never go. 'Cause you know, know that the light is gonna show up for you. No matter what, if you put one foot in front of the other, you can go. You can go. You can go. You can go. You can go.
Oh, well, that's a
Nice.
very encouraging and loving song.
Done.
Deb.
Deb Weslow, that was awesome. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for sharing your songs. I want to congratulate you. I think you did it. You wrote an upbeat cancer song, and I don't know, that might be a first. That's really an amazing achievement. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to ask you. I listened to some of your songs on your YouTube channel, and your song today you shared about your father. This one's about surviving beating cancer. You also have a song about the polar vortex with a terrific video. It seems like your songs are really being pulled from your personal experiences. Is that how you approach your songwriting? Is drawing from what you're experiencing?
Yes, sometimes. Sometimes I come up with some things that have absolutely nothing to do with my life.
Yeah.
Or some from different perspectives from a guy's perspective, a perspective from
Interesting.
a dog, just all sorts of different kinds of things.
You know, one thing I noticed about you, I first heard your songs, and then now I hear your speaking voice, and you have a very deep speaking voice, but a very high singing voice. And I wonder how you literally discovered your voice. Did you play around and singing in different octaves and find out where it was the right place for you?
Oh, I guess I'm what they call mezzo soprano, but I think mostly just singing all these songs growing up. Anything from the folk songs of my really early youth to rock songs and Journey, and trying to match the octaves.
Yeah, that's what they do in Journey, right? They go,
Yeah, they got
they get up in that falsetto.
Yeah. So it just wherever I know, I can sing pretty much most ranges. So
Is that right? Oh, well, you have a beautiful voice, and your songs are
Thank you.
really. I found them very accessible, really easy to enjoy and hear the story that you're sharing. I also really enjoyed your music videos, and I wondered, when you are developing your videos to go with your songs, are you thinking when you're writing the songs about how it might translate into a music video, or does that just come later?
Well, like for Polar Vortex that you mentioned, I just have, I took a lot of pictures during the storm of 2021 that we had here in Texas. And I just took pictures that I had taken from that experience, and just put the video together. The video was after I wrote the song, but I just took pictures that I took during that time and put it into a video.
It really does a nice job of capturing the experience, both visually and the song itself. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
And I had one last question for you, which is, what is the story behind your song, Tell Me a Story, Grandpa? Is that a personal story, or is that someone else's story?
Yes. Well, it's actually, I wrote it. My father-in-law turned 90 last summer, and we had a big party for him. And so I wrote the song for them, for him, but I wrote it from my oldest son's perspective, who was very, very, very close to his grandpa, and throughout his years, and had a really strong bond. And I just thought it was kind of telling it from his perspective was kind of a neat way to tell it.
Yeah, so it's going back to what you were saying earlier about using other people's perspectives and voices. So I have to ask, was everybody crying at that moment in the
Yeah, there was
party?
a few tears shed.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's beautiful. I hope folks will go and check out your YouTube channel and enjoy those songs. Thank you so much for sharing your music with us. One more round of applause
Thank you.
for Deb Weslow. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. I'm going to have to find that song about Tell Me a Story, Grandpa, and listen to it, because my son is very close to his grandpa, who is my father. And now I'm very curious about that. Thank you. And our third performer today, let's get him on the stage, is Stuart Campbell from Vancouver, Washington. And he likes to go to the Gypsy Roadshow at the Barberton Grange, hosted by Michael Hatfield. And he's also a student of Matt Meehan's songwriting as truth-telling program. And Matt is right here with us. So you're on, Stuart.
Hi, everybody. Matt's been a great inspiration to me, so I want to thank him out front. And a couple of these songs, I'll play 2 songs. Both of them were inspired by song prompts. This first one is called Steady Northwest Rain. And as you may know, rain's a little out here on the West Coast. But we're all connected. That's the message. It's Christmas time in Washington, it seems. Rain will never end. I'm drinking Starbucks roast coffee, looking out the window, thinking of my friend. How could his sister do such a thing? How could she throw it all away? That's the kind of thing I'm thinking on this rainy Northwest winter day. I did not know her name, never talked to her, or looked upon her face. But I will guess she was alone in there, held captive in a dark and empty place. I see her through the eyes and the broken heart of my old friend. That's how I know her, I guess you might say we were connected in the end. And the rain falls, yeah, the rain falls, yes, the rain falls, and that's okay. It was the hottest year on record. The firs got scorched until they browned. People who died from the heat, just lying in their beds right there in town. We can't run away from changes. We are all here on the same boat. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking about. Looking for northwest winter hope. There's flooding up in Sumas, the town markets got water to your knee. There's not a person that I know from there, so why does it matter to me? I do not know why I care about the people way up there, but I guess I do. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking about, watching the rain run down the window. And the rain falls, yeah, the rain falls, oh, the rain falls. And that's okay, that's alright. La 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 la. There's a boy who took his daddy's gun to school. Now the little kids are dead. He's not a devil, he's not possessed, he's one of us. He's got demons in his head. I cannot hate him for the deed he did. I'll love him if it will ease up on our pain. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking about in this steady northwest rain. Yeah, it's Christmas time in Washington, and it seems the rain will never cease. It could be raining everywhere on everyone from Portland on to Greece. May it wash away our separateness, show us how to live as one. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking, waiting for the northwest winter sun. And the rain falls, yeah, the rain falls, the rain falls, yes, the rain falls. And that's okay, yeah, that's alright, that's okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Whoa, yes.
Well done.
Nicely done.
What a song.
God.
Thank you. My wife said I needed to play something uplifting after that, so here I am. This next one is maybe the last time I'll ever play this song. It's a pandemic song. I'm sure many of you have pandemic songs. But it's kind of an uplifting pandemic song, which is kind of fun to play. So I'm going to tune a little bit here. One thing I want you to pay attention to is, you know, this was a songwriter's prompt, and I want you to figure out what the prompt was by the end of it. So, you know, listen to the song, but be thinking about that too. What's unique about this song? One thing is I'm using a partial capo on 4th fret, which is fun. But there's something else about the song. Wonder what you're thinking. thinking about a time we could stand together. Together everyone is suffering something that we share. Share your heart with me. I'll share mine too. Too many people without jobs, families facing so much death. Death is on the news tonight. Fear will keep us far apart. Apart by 6, I see you now. I am smiling under this mask, you know. Know that I will be there for you. It's clear that you've got something to share. Share your heart with me. I'll share mine with you. And at night when I'm feeling so alone, alone in isolation in my own home. Home is like a prison cell keeping me from you. You are all I have in this cold, cold world. Yes, you can share your heart with me. Any way you can. Sing along. Ooh. La 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 la. Oh. La 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 la. Oh. La 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 la. One more time. Oh. La 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 la. Can our hearts make a bridge that brings us close together? Together is the only way we can make it through. Through all of history, we've depended on each other. Other than this trust, what can save us now? Now share your heart with me. Any way you can. Can you share your heart with me? Any way you can. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, nice and Stuart. Good job, man.
Great job, Stuart Campbell. Thank you for sharing your songs and your heart with us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was awesome. I asked you earlier what you were promoting lately, and you said world peace. So I think that
That's kind of sums it up.
speaks volumes. I am really intrigued by the music songwriters workshop that you went to, and would like you to tell us a little bit about that, and also tell our audience what is a song prompt,
Yeah, okay.
please.
Well, yeah, I do a couple of things. One is Matt's class here in Vancouver, which has been online lately, which is really great. Very gentle and inspiring. And a prompt is just something to get your mind around when you start to write a song. It could be anything: a color, a sound, a memory, anything that might move you. That's what songwriters do anyway. They keep their eyes open, right? Everything they see every day or hear or smell is potential. So That's what the prompt is. I want to say another one I go to pretty regularly is called Lamb's Retreat for Songwriters. It's in Michigan.
Where's that?
Out in Michigan, out in Harbor Springs, Michigan.
Wow.
John D. Lamb's been putting that on for 26 years now, and I've gone for 17 of them. And,
Wow.
It's really, really fun. So
That sounds like a really good time.
you can look it up online. Yeah, it's a pretty intense 3-day of songwriting. So
Thanks for sharing that. And I was listening to your lyrics very closely and thinking, wow, if you really want to get people to pay attention to your lyrics, ask them to figure out what the prompt was.
well, let me tell you about that one. That
Yeah,
prompt,
please do.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody got it, but it's one of Matt's brilliant song prompts was to write something called, I think it's called anadiplosis. Anadiplosis. So you take the last word of one verse line, and it becomes the first word of the next line. Oh. And I think I held true to it, except for the chorus. So together, everyone is suffering something we share. So you just kind of go like that. And it just worked out really nicely for that song. So
That is very clever. And you had an uplifting pandemic song. We had an uplifting cancer song tonight. So I think we're doing a good job,
Let's keep it
fighting
going.
back.
That's right. Let's fight back.
I like that I'm smiling under this mask, line that you had. And I also liked your washing away our separateness shows as
Yeah.
how to live as one. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. That's kind of a theme, I guess, in all my stuff. Is like, everybody. I want to hug the world. I want to hug everybody, and you can't do that
Aw.
anymore, right? It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so you communicate with the eyes. If you've got a mask,
Exactly.
right here. And I'll even take off my glasses so people can see my eyes and see what I'm
Yeah.
thinking and feeling, and that's.
I had a friend who at the beginning of the pandemic used this term, my eyes are smiling at you. He wanted to.
I like that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And it seems like, I noticed your song about the rain. Do you find, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, you do probably stress a little bit about the rain sometimes, especially the last couple of years with our extreme weather. Do you find playing and writing music a way to de-stress in those situations, take your mind off those kinds of concerns?
Yeah, I don't know about stress and rain. It's not quite to that point for me
Not yet.
It's more like you do different things, right? It's like we came from Michigan, so I know it snows a lot, right? And there's things you can't do when it snows. There's things you can't do when it rains.
Yeah.
And so you gotta embrace it, and that's kind of what that sitting looking out the window was, embracing where I am at that particular moment. But yeah, it's the rain. Yeah. It can get old.
Well, you wrote a wonderful tune about the rain, and I really enjoyed it, and your other song as well. I really want to thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your songs.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Thank you all.
One more round of applause for Stuart Campbell, everybody, in Vancouver, Washington.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Stuart. And now we are going to go to Pittsboro, North Carolina. That's what you can do on Zoom, right? And we're going to hear Larry Hicks, who has come back to us. And he likes to play at Dockside on Wednesdays once it reopens with open mics, and at the Box Yard on Fridays, which is an outdoor venue, especially now that the weather is warming up again. There are some other venues opening up, but right now Larry is still mostly playing through Zoom and starting to venture into video recording at the People's Channel in Chapel Hill. Well, that's something new. So Larry, you got the stage. Take it away.
Thank you, and it's great to be back. This first song is a song about growing up in a small town till you think it's too small, then you realize it was actually where you needed to be anyway. And it's called Along the Sidewalk. There's a sidewalk in a sleepy little town on a not too busy street where there's room to move around, where the flags fly 365 days. It's safe, wrong, big, and right. But oh, that sidewalk, that comfy little town, it's where I'd hang around on Saturdays, window shopping with $1 in my hand. tagging with my friends along the way. On the sidewalk, people stop and say hello, and they pause before they go and ask you how you been. Oh, that sidewalk, no matter where I'd roam, as the twilight settles in, it bring me home again. Along that sidewalk, in that quiet little town, I stole my first kiss when no one else was looking around. We were laughing, head to a matinee, on that sunny summer day, it just seemed right. But oh, that sidewalk, that simple little town, as I watched the time go by, became too small for me. On that sidewalk, waited for my ride, suitcase at my side, I had to go. On the sidewalk, people stop and say hello, and they pause before they go and ask you how you been. Oh, that sidewalk, no matter where I'd roam, as the twilight settles in, it bring me home again. You know that sidewalk, that faraway town, so distant from me now, where I've settled down amongst the hustle and the hassles in my life. I've forgotten what it's like to just pass time back on that sidewalk. Simply little town on a not too busy street, there's still room to move around, where the flags fly 365 days. It's a patriotic way, so the old folks used to say. And on that sidewalk, people stop and say hello, and they pause before they go and ask me where I've been. Oh, that sidewalk, no matter where I've roamed, as my twilight settles in, it brings me home again.
Nice.
Yes.
Good job.
Song about everything in life. Perfect.
Nice song.
Plan, friend. That was
Yeah,
great.
switching to a 12-string guitar, which I've tuned to, I think it's D-A-D, F sharp A-D, or something like that. And this is a tune about, you know, I've got no rhythm as far as dancing is concerned, but I always kind of like watching other people dance, including my wife, but I can't dance with her, so I wrote this song about dancing with her in my head, where I actually have a little bit of a rhythm to it. So here we go. We were sitting at the table when the band began to play this melody. He pulled me on the dance floor, determined to have one more dance with me. I was spinning round a crowded room, not knowing what to do. They say there's only one true love, and I'm so in love with you. Never was a dancer, but I dance with you forever in my mind. You and me, the music, leaving all the cares we have behind. then it's just the two of us, swaying with the tune. Nothing like the one you love, dancing here with you. As I sing this song for you, you can close your eyes and see. Just wrap yourself around this tune. Now you're dancing here with me. May not always show it, but you have to know it's true. They say there's only one true love, and I'm so in love with you. Although I may not show it, have to know it's true. There's only one true love, and I'm dancing here with you. Still dancing here with you.
Wow,
That was
gorgeous song.
Sweet, sweet, sweet song.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Romantic.
Love the harmonics up the neck there too. Gorgeous playing
Yeah.
and singing.
Thank
That
you.
was fantastic. Larry Hicks, thank you so much for both of those songs. They were both very different, two different guitars, two different very songs and theme. I want to ask you about both of them. The first song you played was about a small town. That was super sweet. Is that a real place or a place you're familiar with?
It's a small town of about 2,000 people called Romney, West Virginia. And I grew up there. We actually moved from Pittsburgh because my dad was going to get relocated, and it was either going to be to New York City or down to Romney. So he actually took a demotion to take the family away from city living into more of a rural living, and I think I gained a lot from that transition. And so the song was actually written as a slower tune after it was one of those times where you move away from town and you're out on your own and you feel distant, and then something's happening with work or whatever, and you're feeling like, God, I just wish I was back home. It was so much simpler then. But when I was there, it was like, this town is too small.
Right.
And it's about coming back to that town and seeing that it hasn't really changed a whole heck of a lot. And you still feel comfortable there, and you still know people there, and you find families back there.
And you find you need different guitars for these songs. You played a beautiful guitar for the first song. What was that first guitar that you were playing?
The first guitar is a Martin guitar. My wife bought it for me for my retirement gift, which I greatly appreciate, Sue. She's
Thank
watching.
you, Sue.
Um,
He's making good
but-
use of it, Sue.
Yeah, and it's a really fun guitar to play. And the other is a 12-string guitar that my wife bought me for, I think it was my 40th birthday. So that one's been around a while.
Yeah.
And thank you again, Sue.
She's a keeper, I would say.
Yeah. And I actually did that tune down on that 12 string. And so the people in the local Zooms here, they're going like, you playing that again? I said, look, I tuned this thing down. There's 12 strings on it. I'm going to play this song until I get tired of it because I don't want to tune that guitar back up again. So
Yeah.
it's kind
So
of a fun
how exactly
thing.
did you tune it? I was a little bit confused what the tuning was. I noticed you played it open a couple of times with no chords at all.
It's a D A D F sharp A D.
Oh.
So and I just fooled around with that a while back, and it was a nice tone as an open chord, and it also allows you to do harmonics on it pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the song just came out from there as part of that. But that's a true story too, because I can't dance at all. And it's pretty embarrassing to be out there. The only time I've really danced is when I was younger at a wedding, half soused, and it was a polka. And so we don't do that.
Well, you may not know how to dance, but you sure as heck know how to write a love song, and that was a beautiful love song. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I know who it was for.
Yeah, don't tell my wife. No, I'm kidding. It was for you, Sue.
Thank
It was
you.
it was for my first wife, and that's still Sue. So.
Well, I know a lot of us who are involved in music, we have a partner who is standing beside us and behind us and supporting us. And it really does take, a whole supportive family to enable us to engage in our music. So I congratulate you for having that in your partner and appreciate the music that you both are bringing forward for us. Thank you for your songs. Really appreciate
Sure.
it.
Thank you.
Give you another round of applause.
Yes, Larry.
Turn it
And
back over to Daphne.
I had to add that maybe, dancing with Sue is probably would be very romantic. But if I were Sue, having a song like that sung to me would be even more so. So, so there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Well, and now we're going to go to Rhode Island, where we are going to hear Jan Luby, who comes from Pascoag, Rhode Island. And if I said that wrong, she can correct me. So, Jan Luby, let's get you on the stage and tell about where you play. You said that the Mediator stage in Providence, Rhode Island has a great open mic every Thursday. So I'm assuming that's where you like to go.
Well, I've only been there once in the past 2 years.
Well, yeah.
A friend of mine did a feature there, and I just felt like I had to go. But I do also, I'm very involved in Rhode Island Songwriters Association for many years. And for 16 years, we did a Women Arise show. And that came about because I had somebody recently say, how about the Men of Risa? How it came about was the guy that was the president at the time put a Stone Soup coffee house show together. And it was a Rhode Island Songwriters Association Risa show. And it was 7 men in the show. And I went up to him and I said, hey, there are some women in Risa. He said, oh, here. And he gave me, he wrote down the name of somebody, a contact at a brand new coffee house in Warren, Rhode Island, and said, go ahead and do a Women Arise show. Well, the people at the coffee house loved it so much that they wanted it back every year. So we did 16 years of Women Arise shows until 2020 got canceled and last year. But we're doing it again, June 4th,
Yay.
at the Mediator stage. So I'm very excited about that. Things are just starting to open up a little bit again. And I'm a little wary. I just had COVID, so.
Oh,
and I'm double vaccinated, boosted, everything, and never go anywhere. So I don't know where I got it.
Yes, well, now you're on Open Mic America show, so that's another one. So
and
take
this is
it
great.
away, Jan.
All right. I guess I'll just say that this song is about survival. Words fell from your mouth today, snatched up by the wind. Others broke upon the page, scattered like they'd never been. behind your hand. Bruises black and blue, a mark left from a wedding band, secret held behind chipped tunes. So many years you blamed yourself, when all you ever did was try to stay alive, singing lullabies, lullabies. Quiet, bitter shards of glass scrambled in your head, dug up bones from the past, then they followed you to bed. So many years you blamed yourself, when all you ever did was try to stay alive, singing lullabies, 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 lullabies. Frightened child turned to wood, tiny, earthbound, always tried to be so good, she'd hide but was always found. You never were to blame at all, and here you are, you managed to survive, singing lullabies, 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 lullabies.
Nice.
Wow, what a
Like
powerful
that.
jam.
Okay.
Thanks. I'll lighten it up now. I hope. Speaking of prompts, we also did a couple decades of songwriters in the round at AS220 in Providence, and the last time I played out, I played out outdoors, a couple outdoor shows in the last couple of years, but the last one we had was March 11th, 2020. And so we're going to start again April 28th. They're just opening that room again April 1st. So I spoke to AS220. We're going back. And what happens is the audience chooses the theme. We have index cards and they write ideas down and we collect them and we have people vote and they choose the theme that the writers for the following month are going to write on. This came out of a prompt. Stepping over the line was the prompt. It was about 2 weeks after Pete Seeger passed, and I felt like I wanted to do a Pete-like song. So that's where this came from. When I was a child, I colored grass orange, the princess's hair light green. I was told the sky isn't red, but I knew what I'd seen. They said clouds are white, the sky is blue, the sun is yellow when it shines, and You should always be more careful to color inside the lines, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with my heart wide open to all I might find, coloring outside the lines. And I made friends of different colors. Some thought I'd crossed a line, still so dear, 50 years and counting, these forever friends of mine. And I joined people out taking chances, making a world of their design. Seems there are more and more people outside the lines, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines. Here's a song to the ones who don't follow, who listen to a voice their own, while you tell them that they can't make a difference. They're busy growing the seeds they've sown, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines.
Love that.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, Jan.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Jan Luby sharing her songs with us. Those were both really beautiful songs. Thank you for playing them for us.
Thank you.
I saw on your website that you have had some recent performances and have a performance coming up. How's it been going out and playing live again in these days?
Well, the last live performance was live and streamed,
yeah.
and it turned into a streamed show that we did on a stage with good sound and everything. Nobody came out. It's a new venue. It's wonderful. One Broadway in Lawrence. It's a nonprofit organization, and it's very cool. So people in the area might have heard of it. So we did a benefit for them.
Yeah. And you have another one coming up. Same thing, live and live streamed on March 18th,
Yeah, that's
right?
that's a Songwriters in the Round. I did
Yeah.
one of those before. They're really fun. We don't have to write a song for it, but and then I know I have a note to myself to put all the other things up on my website, because I've been really lax about putting things there. But the April 28th at AS220, I'm imagining we're going to do a Songwriters in the Round, and it's got to be pulled together really fast. We haven't done one in 2 years. And so I don't think it'll have a theme. I'll probably do that. Women Arise show is booked for June 4th.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You've got lots going on, and your website, you've got a lot on your website.
Jan Seides, I don't know, from Austin, Texas. She's doing an Earth Day show. I don't know if you caught any of her Sunday shows that she streams.
I have caught her here on Open Mic America.
Okay,
so
yeah,
thank
she's
you for
wonderful.
sharing. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you too, some other things I saw on your website I really enjoyed were the photos, and especially learning about being raised by vaudeville parents. I mean, that is an amazing story, and that great photo of Mel Odie and Ruby. Tell us a little bit about your parents and how
So I
that
did.
impacted your songwriting.
I never got encouraged to perform by
Oh,
either of my parents. My father encouraged me to write. Um, and my mother, when I was dancing, I was a choreographer and a dancer in New York City as a teenager, and that's what I wanted to do. Music was my second love, and but my mother would say, "You see how we lived. Why do you want to do show business?" So, but I grew up in a trailer, and then there was I have had a younger brother, and I have an older sister, and we grew up on the road for the first 7 years, and then we landed in
yeah.
New York City. And I grew up in a one-bedroom attic apartment with 5 people in it. Um, I wouldn't have traded my childhood though. I mean, a lot of the kids I grew up with in New York City had never been out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was another world out there. I went
Yeah.
out to the West Coast for 14 years, and there was a resurgence of vaudeville, but they called it new vaudeville. It's still going on. If you go to Europe, there's still variety shows, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's not much of that in the States anymore. And it was like there was no fat lady jokes and no take my wife please, and it was a family show.
Yeah.
Flying Karamazov brothers and Avner the Eccentric and a bunch of amazing vaudeville performers. And I had a partner, and we called ourselves Girls Who Wear Glasses, and we did comedy novelty jazz tunes, and
Nice.
it was a blast. But then
That sounds
I
like
came to
fun.
New England because well, for several reasons, but I heard about all the coffee houses and all the support for singer-songwriters
Hmm.
in New England, and thought, I need to try that out on my way to Berlin. It was late
Well, it
80s. There was this great
sounds
music
like
scene
you.
there. I never made it there. Instead, I
Yeah.
stayed here, and I had a daughter, and life drastically changed.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like some of your songs have been inspired by that too. I really appreciate you sharing your music, and I encourage folks to check out your website. I'll drop a link to it in the chat
Yeah, it's
on
just janluby.com.
Yeah, it's terrific. Thank you so much. One more
All
round of
right.
applause for Jan
Thank
Luby,
you.
everybody. Thanks.
Bravo, Jan. Sounds like you got a lot of stories to tell. And next we have someone who also has stories to tell, and that is Rosemary Austin from San Jose, California, returning to Open Mic America. And
Hey.
Rosemary, I don't think is playing out a lot live, right? But you're working on your videos. She has fantastic videos of her music.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually, funny enough, I am gonna play live for
Great.
my son's preschool, and joining another band for a benefit. So that's exciting, and this is always exciting to be here and play on Open Mic America.
Great. So take it away, Rosemary.
Okay. All right. Well, the first song I was thinking about why I wrote it. There was just an ongoing joke in my family about my mom. She just loved cats always, and I preferred dogs. And so, everybody knows, oh, I'm a cat person. Oh, I'm a dog person. So this song kind of grew out of that conflict. All right. There's an intense rivalry, and it's been happening ever since man has made friends with other species. We share our home and our food, and they lighten our mood, and they become family. Tonight we're gonna draw the line, a canine or a feline. Let's take a vote just to see dogs versus cats, kittens versus puppies, where the lines will be drawn at last. Take a stand and pick a side, please. Whoa.
Well, dogs versus cats, kittens versus puppies, Bowsers or meowsers, fetchers or scratchers, felines or canine, dogs versus cats. Well, once upon a not so long time ago, I had an argument with a friend I know. She said that feline friends were the cat's meow, way hipper than cooler than any bow wow, wow, wow. I can't believe she said that. Oh, it's on now. Dogs versus cats, kittens versus puppies. Well, the lines will be drawn and last. Take a stand and pick a side, please. Well, dogs versus cats, kittens versus puppies, Bowsers or meowsers, fetchers or scratchers, felines or canine, dogs versus cats. I said you've underestimated our most possum resident. The cats follow close and guard like you're the president, like a Secret Service agent that gets paid by the biscuit. Walking through life without a dog, do you want to risk it? Do you want to risk it? Want to risk it? Oh, pets lift you up on days you get upset. Oh, pets may be the best friends that you'll ever get. Dogs or cats, oh, which are the best? Pets, oh, pets, oh, pets. Let's start with a brand new argument. You might not be sure which pet is heavenly sent. Could it be the one you feel most comfortable around? Maybe we're the lost ones, and it's us they have found, and it's us they have found, and it's us they have found. Doggies and cats, kittens and puppies. Well, it's a circle of furry friends. Just watch out for the fleas. Well, doggies and cats, kittens and puppies, Bowsers and meowsers, fetchers and scratchers, felines and canines. We love dogs and cats. Doggies and cats, kittens and puppies. It's a circle of furry friends. Just watch out for the fleas. Doggies and cats, kittens and puppies, Bowsers and meowsers, fetchers and scratchers, felines and canines. We love dogs and cats. Yes, we do. We love dogs and cats. I hope you do too. We love dogs and cats. Yeah, that hamster's okay too. We love dogs and cats. And turtles are pretty cute. We love dogs and cats. Okay, throw in the whole zoo. We love dogs and cats.
Now that's fun.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
That's beautiful.
God.
Switching over to just the harmonica and vocals. All right. My family loves pizza. I have 2 children and a husband, and we all love pizza. And this next song is called Pizza Train. And I don't know if you guys have seen those little wooden train sets. So with a wooden connector, the tracks and pizza. So I created a video after I wrote the song. It is on YouTube. And this is just a really fun song to to write and play, and I got help from Daphne, some feedback, because her background is in children's music as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Let's try this. Flour, water, salt, and yeast, mix in the dough for a pizza feast. Look at those bubbles in your crust, well, they're made by creatures smaller than dust. Made by creatures smaller than dust. Come on and ride the pizza train. It's coming through our town again. Pick a bunch of toppings or eat it plain. Let's ride together on the pizza train. Let's ride together on the pizza train. Spread the sauce out with a spoon, big and round like the moon. Painted red, white, or green. Shred the cheese, now we're picking up steam. Shred the cheese, now we're picking up steam. Pepperoni wheels rolling down the track. Rainbow veggies make a mighty stack. Eat it for lunch, dinner, or snack. Open up your mouth. Take a big bite and choo choo, choo choo. Come on, ride the pizza train. It's coming through our town again. Pick a bunch of toppings or eat it plain. Let's ride together on the pizza train. Let's ride together on the pizza train. All right.
That was great. Good job.
Oh,
Yeah.
You make me hungry and happy all at the same time.
Yeah.
Good
You made-
stuff.
You made me hungry and you made me laugh out loud on the dogs versus cats song. That was really great. Although I thought you were going to have a lyric in there about biscuits. So I might have to write an extra lyric for you on that song.
There is
Yeah.
a
Do you want to risk it? No, I want a biscuit. That was what I came up with.
Oh, well, it's like a Secret Service agent that gets paid by the biscuit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I loved, there's so many great lines in that song, both those songs, but I loved when you said, maybe we're the lost ones and it's us they have found. I thought, that was just really well said. I love your songs. I've gotten to hear them before, but I really enjoyed going to your website and seeing the videos too. I wondered if you might tell us a little bit about your collaboration with these animators and artists, Gillian Hunt and Christine Brennan.
Yeah, I'm actually more familiar with Jillian Hunt.
Jillian, sorry.
Yeah, she was a University of Santa Cruz art major graduate, and I met her at work, and I just kind of followed her as she progressed. I'm fairly sure she went to graduate studies, and she's just done a lot in the animation field and stop motion, and so I just thought it would be fun. It's a really playful time of my life, having children, and it was kind of meant to be. And I reached out to her, and she was able to help me out with it.
Well, the video you guys made of your song "Baby's Got No Blues Yet" is really cute, and I hope people will take a little time to go in and watch that and enjoy it. I did drop your website address in the YouTube link. I wanted to ask you, I mean, you're a songwriter and you're writing children's songs, and you're a mother. I'm just wondering, how motherhood has inspired your songwriting.
Oh, I mean, very much so. It's seeing the world through the eyes of a child and the things that they get excited about, but also just the new adventures that we get to take because it's different with a family now. You just see life through a different lens.
I love that whole idea. Baby doesn't have the blues yet. I mean, that's just a wonderful concept. And your music is so family friendly too. I think that's really special to play songs that are meant for everybody. You know, a lot of music that we play is not children appropriate, and we have to kind of be mindful of that. And I love the fact that you're putting songs and videos out there that everybody can watch and enjoy. It's quite an accomplishment. Do your kids sing along? Are they cheering you on and clapping and singing along when you play?
Yeah, we have fun. Sometimes we're just sitting around at lunch and I'll pull my guitar down and play some songs, and I think it's just a nice way to hang out, and I hope that they learn how to be musical in different ways. So yeah, but hopefully that it just brings them pleasure. Yeah.
I'm sure it will stick with them. I grew up with my mom playing music to me at a very young age, and it's one of my most treasured memories. So I hope the same for your kids. I would not be surprised. And I wanted to ask you about your performance that's coming up for the Almaden Parents Preschool in San Jose. That's on April 9th. Can you tell us a little bit about that show?
Sure. It's a parent participation preschool, and so that's it is a nonprofit. So we tried to do fundraising throughout the year, and one of the members, her husband, plays in a band called Stomp Box, and so they're going to be the primary band at the show. And I said, hey, you know, I like doing children's music. I would love to play, you know, some small sets in between yours. And it's called the Spring Fling, and there will be a small door fee. And yeah, we hope that all ages can come out and enjoy the afternoon with us.
Well, that sounds great. I'm so glad we're all able to get back out there and start enjoying music together out in public. So thank you for your songs today and for contributing that in your community. Let's have one more round of applause for Rosemary Austin, everybody. Thank you.
Bravo, Rosemary. And I love the way you play that song with just voice and harmonica. It's perfect. It doesn't need anything more. Amazing.
Thanks, Daphne.
Yeah. And let's see, who do we have next? Returning to Open Mic America, we have Matt Meehan from Portland, Oregon. And he told us that he likes to go to the songwriter soiree, but I would like to add that he also teaches the class Songwriting as Truth-Telling that other people here have attended. So take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Daphne. I like going to that too. It's such a treat to be here with everybody. This song is called Acqua Alta, which is means high water in Italian. In the street, people scurry, veiled eyes glance and hurry, swim in dreams of yesterday. On the waves, sunlight glistens, the water sang, no one listens. Seabirds rise and wheel away. In a dream, stars were falling, on the wind, voices calling. whisper in a tongue you'll never know. Waters flow. Tiny light mortals gather at their feet, bedrock scatters trouble from below. Across the bay, ripples tumble, spires rise, castles crumble. Gods assemble for the show. Day by day, tide is rising. Morning brings a new horizon. Beyond that, no one knows. Waters flow. In a dream, stars were falling. On the wind, voices calling. Whisper in a tongue you'll never know. Waters flow. Waters flow. Waters flow.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous
Oh,
song. Beautiful.
Thank you very much. This song is it's a true story. It's not my true story, but it is true. He steps from the house he built with his hands, sits on the porch with a sigh. Looks at the evening, at the sun going down, the love of his life nearby. They live together 48 years, right up to the day she died. He held her close as she slipped away. He made her a promise that night. Since she left that room, he can't sleep in there. He passes his nights in an old easy chair. man from the town told him, you can't do that. He went ahead anyway. A tombstone and flowers beside the front porch, where he sits at the end of each day. Neighbors say maybe it's strange, seems like he's earned the right. He draws his fingers over her name and tells her, I love you. Good night.
Beautiful.
Beautiful song.
Oh,
Wow.
Gorgeous.
that's so beautiful, beautiful.
That was fantastic, Matt Meehan. Thank you for sharing your songs with us. Gosh, there's so many things I want to ask you. I looked you up before the show tonight and learned a few things about you. One of which is that you are a graduate of the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics in Boulder, Colorado. Could you tell us a little bit about that? I'm intrigued.
Yes, that's a school. It's now Naropa University, but when I went, it was Naropa Institute. It's a school in Boulder, Colorado that was founded by Tibetan Buddhists, and so it's a Buddhist school, but it was also co-founded by Allen Ginsberg.
Yeah.
And so they had a bunch of different departments and contemplative, track and everything, but they had a transpersonal psychology department, and they had a poetry and writing department. And I actually went there. I lived in Boulder, and I had a job, and I was a single dad, so I could only do like one class at a time or two classes at a time. But I actually had decided I wanted to become a therapist. And I was very interested in the Jungian approach. So most of the Jungians in town at that point were teaching there at their transpersonal psych department. So I went through that whole program, almost got the degree, but then I decided I really didn't want to do that as a career. And in the meantime, I had started taking a lot of poetry classes in the Jack Kerouac School. So it's a very beat-oriented program. Ann Waldman, who's a wonderful poet, was on the faculty, and Allen Ginsberg would come in the summers and teach. So I had been doing classes, and I just kind of switched and went ahead and got a poetry degree. So
Wow.
it's interesting to me now, because many years later now, I mostly hold songwriting workshops and classes, and that kind of combination of the therapy training, which kind of taught me about holding space and being present for other people. And then the writing poetry thing. So it was sort of like the ideal preparation for running a songwriting class, but I didn't know that when I was doing it.
That's so interesting, and it really helped you find your calling too, and
It
you
did.
got where you are. And not only do you teach workshops online that our previous performer Stuart Campbell has taken advantage of, but I saw that you are teaching a songwriting retreat in Ireland next year. How cool is that? I saw the pictures. I'm like, I want to sign up for this.
You should.
How did you get that gig going? That's really exciting.
Well, so I started doing these classes in 2009. It's a weekly thing. And then my friend Chris Kokesh, who's a wonderful songwriter, and I started doing a songwriting camp here in Oregon. Actually, now it's in Washington State, called the Hidden River Songwriting Camp. So that was going for 10 years up until when it paused for the pandemic. And I've been going to Ireland for a really long time, for about more than 25 years. I've been going every summer. And I always felt like the cultural context of music in Ireland, I always felt really different playing music there, because the assumption here sort of seems to be like if you're playing, it has something to do with career and getting famous and making money and all of that. It's like inescapably part of how we think about music. And it, especially back then in Ireland, that was very much not the way people thought about it. People thought about it as something that everyone naturally does. Of course, you know, so if you're at a pub, everyone has a song, you know, and it's just taken for granted. And so I really felt like that's something that's nurtured me as an artist and helped me connect with the music for its own sake. And I really wanted to start sharing that. So I just put together the idea of doing a retreat in Ireland. And the first year, it was pretty scary because I just booked a couple of big houses and said, we're doing a songwriting retreat in Ireland. And I mean, I'd spent a lot of time in Ireland, but I didn't really know how to run that, you know. But 13 people, I think, came, and we spent a week there, and it was really fantastic. And part of my motivation was that I didn't want to do a retreat, a songwriting thing where we got on a bus and drove around. There's a bunch of those. But I wanted to be like, we stay in one village and hang out at the pub and play music for a week.
Oh, it just looked fantastic. It sounds, I'm ready to sign up. I think
really
it sounds great.
Experience. It's a wonderful place. It's physically beautiful. We do it on the, you know, in this rocky coastal town with the ocean right there. And then, you know, the culture. So, and I do it in a place called Glen Columkill, which is a native Irish speaking area. One of those parts of Ireland where it's still that old native culture. So, and I've done 5 of those now, and we'll had to pause for the pandemic, but we're planning to go back next year.
That's awesome. Well, we'll drop your website address in the link in the chat for the YouTube page, so people can find that. I also encourage people to go listen to your song "Love Today" that you recorded with Ann Tivell. That was just a beautiful song. I really appreciate your songs, Matt, Meehan, everyone. Give it up. Really, really wonderful works that you're sharing with us. Thank you so much.
So good to have you back, Matt. Thank you so much for that. And now let's see, who do we have next? We have Halelupe. Welcome to Open Mic America from Grand Junction, Colorado. And she likes to play in her kitchen a lot. And she really likes to play wherever there's other musician and voices that will join in. Well, don't we all? And she likes to play at Artichoke Music. So take it away, Halelupe.
Thank you. You know, I think I'm going to take my headphones off so I can just play without them, but I think you guys can still hear me, right? Good. Well, this song that I'm going to first play also came out of a workshop of Matt Meehan's. And I was feeling really rebellious. He gave us a song prompt, and it was actually with he and Chris Kokish. And I don't know, I went outside. I was like, I'm not going to write a song. I just don't even want to write one. And I was out there standing outside. It was kind of a cold spring day. And I looked down I was kind of in the mud, and my feet were covered with mud, my shoes. And that kind of bummed me out. And then I looked over, and there were these daffodils that were popping out right out of the same mud, and they had no dirt on them. And that's where the song came from. Standing in the garden with my feet deep in the dirt, looking at the flowers pushing right up through the earth. They make it look so easy with their simple grace. made to come so cleanly through without a speck or a trace. I look down at my boots under the blooming apple trees. The mud is right up to their tops and smeared across my knees. Wishing we could come so cleanly through our pain and bloom amid the mud made from a cold spring rain, and dream of hummingbirds and butterflies and bees, multiply and join our family in the breeze, lean our blossoms to the south, put the sunshine in our mouths and grow, grow, oh, grow. So taken with this vision of a life, as a seed, a sprout, a bud, a flower free from strife, that I lie down in the hole I've dug and pull down all the dirt and plant myself in the fresh tilled earth and dream of hummingbirds and butterflies and bees, multiply and join my family in the breeze, lean my blossoms to the south, put the sunshine in my mouth and grow. 'Cause my only job is growing, my only job is growing, my only job is growing. Oh, wait for the earth to tip, the sun to slide my way, the soil to warm just enough on this cold spring day. I feel my roots grow deeper, a sprout cracking from seed, with the simple faith in knowing I have everything I need. 'Cause my only job is growing, 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 my only job is which has nothing to do with knowing anything at all.
That's a cool
That's
tune.
great.
That was
That's a cool tune.
absolutely charming. Just
Thank you so much.
That's great.
I can hear you a little bit through my headphones.
we all clapped.
I heard the clapping. So this next song, you know, one of the things about the pandemic for me is it's made me realize there are these little moments in time, and it might be in the supermarket when suddenly somebody looks up at you, and we're more aware of each other, actually, I think, since the pandemic. We all used to kind of walk around like this, and now because of the whole, distancing thing, we're more aware of when people are around us, and there's these little moments that happen, and at the end of the day, they stick out to me. They're like, oh, that was one. So that's what this song is about. It's about moments that meant a lot, and you didn't know it until afterwards. Standing in a back street with our hot breath making clouds in the cold night air. I try not to give away the whole deal. I'm afraid of what I feel. You grab the belt loops on my old blue jeans and guide me gently into your arms. Is this pounding in my heart the stronger the weak part? The arrows hit its mark. Oh, 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 oh. I'm trying to speak, but I stammer and fade. How can you be so sure? My words have no fight in this bright blue light, and my mind has taken flight. Oh, oh, up against the car door, your hand on my face, and the other at the back of my thigh. And in my mind's eye, I see the whole night sky, and underneath, just you and I. Time you never know when a moment's gonna be the kind you can't forget, like an old cassette or a simple vignette full of love, no regret. Oh, oh, standing in a back street with our hot breath making clouds in the cold night air, and that train whistle blew, but we never knew where the train was going to.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous job.
Wonderful. Well done.
What a powerful
Thank you.
song. So poetic.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Halelupe, for your beautiful songs. Those were just both really, really special. I love the song about the daffodils. I have some in pots at my house that are blooming right now, and they make me so happy. But I never thought about how things looked from their perspective. So how did you come up with that idea to write a song about, the flower's life?
Well, I think, I've always loved that saying, bloom where you're planted. And I've certainly came up out of the mud myself. It's kind of, I feel like one of the things that I do in my life in terms of songwriting is I feel like I sing and write songs that are going to be kind of helping people on their journeys when they're in their dark places. I've had a lot of dark places in my life, and songwriting has helped me unwind that. Yeah.
My favorite line from that song was, well, there were two of them. Put the sunshine in my mouth. My only job is growing, and has nothing to do with knowing anything at all. I just, like, that's really, as someone in myself, I think I worry and think about things a lot. I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
A great way to give people a gift of thinking about things from a different point of view. And your second song too was also really beautiful. What inspired you to write that song? You said was there a particular moment that you said, this is one of those moments that I want to remember and I didn't realize it at the time, or just a whole series of them?
I think I started actually writing a song that was about lots of different moments. And one of the things actually that I learned from Matt, again, is when writing a song, it's easy to get intellectual and start trying to rhyme or, do things crafty. And he has always helped me to see that the best way is to get into the place where that specific thing happened and feel it and let it blossom in you, and then the words come. And that song, so it was a process of kind of starting with a whole bunch of different moments and throwing them all out and just keeping with this one moment and trying to get very, very into exactly what happened, or, and maybe some of it's an embellishment as a songwriter gets to do, but to really let the blossoming of that experience come through. Yeah.
It made me think about the trips I've taken where, I come home and I look at all my pictures and I ended up not taking any pictures of the things that really stood out the most in my experiences in those trips. And your song really evoked that for me. I thought they were both lovely. And before I move on to our next performer, I do want to ask you about your name, Halelupe, and tell us what that's about, please.
It's so my nickname is actually Lupe in my family. My real name is Caroline, and years ago I had been called Lupe when I was a performing musician, but when you look up Lupe on a search engine or something, you just get many Lupes, and some of them are rap singers, and I'm obviously not Hispanic, so I was with a friend, and this name had actually come up for me. I was in a workshop, and we were doing a guided visualization. This is many years before I decided to use this. And in the visualization, we were supposed to look down at this box that we had, a wooden box in our hands, and our name was carved in the top of the box. And in my mind's eye, when I looked down on the box, I saw this word, Halelupe. Instead of my name, Caroline or Lupe, I saw Halelupe. And I remember telling everybody that I had seen this and what does that mean? And this woman said, well, Halelupe is like Hawaiian. It means home of Lupe. So I was like, great, music is my home. We'll call it Halelupe.
Oh, I love it. It also makes me think of hallelujah, which of course is such a joyous musical word. So
exactly, right.
Thank you for sharing us that story and your songs. Let's have another round of applause.
And I also just want to thank you for having me on this. It was really an honor, and I just love hearing all the musicians in the middle of hardly being around any musicians. Is an absolute joy. Thank you.
Yeah, we can really thank Capo Dave Williams for being the instigator of this amazing Open Mic America, and folks can join in three Sundays a month. We'll tell you more about that at the end. But thank you, and we hope you will come back. Thank you again. Halelupe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bravo, Halelupe. And I see somebody is asking about where can they find the songs that you just played. Open Mic America pointed them out to openmicamerica.com. Hopefully there are links there. If you want to send me something in the chat, we can answer them more directly. Halelupe. So, thank you for those beautiful songs. And now we're going to go to Wakefield, Rhode Island to hear from Paul Colombino. He likes to play at the Stomping Ground in Putnam, Connecticut, and he's going to be playing there on March 15th. And also he loves Passim in Boston, Massachusetts. Yes, that's a great place. And he's played both their virtual and their live open mics. So here we are, Paul Colombino. And I hope I said that right.
That was perfect. Thank you.
Oh, good.
It's great to be here. I'm going to take off my headphones too. So I'm going to play a couple of instrumental tunes for you. I like to sing with my guitar a lot of the time, so that's what I'm going to do tonight. This particular tune I wrote this past summer, so I named it after that famous cliche, "It's not the heat, it's the humidity." So the song's called "It's Not the Heat." The second tune that I wrote it while I was at the beach one day and watching birds dive into the water after fish and then fly up into the air and back into the surf after fish. And they did this over and over and over again for hours. And clearly, I've got a lot of time on my hands because I sat there and watched them all this time. But I had the weird thought that I wonder if like they ever wake up in the morning and go, God, I hate my job. I got to go in and fly into the surf all day and try to catch fish. And I maybe catch one little minnow all day after 8 hours worth of work. And my wings are so tired. And I just thought, they probably don't. They probably just go out and do what they do every day. And they're grateful for whatever they get. And I think human beings should be more like that. And I think that's the secret of this particular ocean bird. So I call this song the Plover's Secret.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
That was terrific.
you.
Thank you, Paul Colombino from Portland, Oregon, playing some amazing songs. That was fantastic.
Thanks. I'm from Wakefield, Rhode Island, by the way.
What's that?
I said I'm from Wakefield, Rhode Island, by the way.
Oh,
Portland,
I'm
Oregon.
sorry.
I've been to Portland, though. It's a beautiful city.
I have to say our first performer, Mark Bishop Evans, said when we were all in the Zoom green room that his everlasting Christmas wish is to be able to play like you. So
Well, that was a
it's
great
quite
compliment. I think Mark's a great player and singer too. I've joined him on a couple of these virtual open mics before, so I always enjoy listening to him as well.
yeah, really beautiful. You have a new album out, Hello Old Friend. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for the last couple of years, I've been working on writing music, and during the pandemic in particular, I had a lot of time to really craft a bunch of songs. So this is a mostly instrumental CD with a couple of vocal tunes on it, and it's available just about anywhere you can get CDs. And it's all me. It's all just acoustic guitar and, like I said, a couple of vocals. And there's just one of the tunes that I played tonight. The last one, "The Plover Secret," is on it, and there are 9 other tunes. So
Yeah, and you can go and sample them all on your website. That was really
yeah.
cool. I was able to have a bit of a listen to that. I noticed one of them is called Kottke,
Oh yeah.
and I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about Leo Kottke and his influence in your life.
Yeah, I could. I first experienced Leo Kottke when I was in my early 20s. I was playing a lot of 12-string guitar at the time, and a friend of mine, I was playing at a party at a friend's house, and he said, "Oh, if you're a 12-string player, you've got to listen to this guy." And so he put on the famous Armadillo album, 6 and 12-string guitar, and I think, if my jaw could have gone through the floor, it would have gone right through the floor, and I was just amazed by what he did. And so, from there, I just tried to learn as much of his technique and as many of his songs as I could, and he really got me, listening to him really got me going on this fingerstyle guitar stuff that I do, and I just, am grateful to him, even though I've never met him, and he doesn't know how much of his material I've stolen. But it was just a great experience to have that kind of thing at such an early age, and be so inspired by somebody.
Yeah, and to help give you that path. Maybe you could write him a letter and let him know. He might appreciate
That's
hearing
a
about that.
good idea. I never even thought about doing that, but maybe I will.
Yeah, and your style is so beautiful. And I love the way that you smile while you're playing. It really, sometimes when you watch people playing music, they're, concentrating really hard, and it looks like it's a bit of a challenge. And for you, it looks really effortless. I'm sure it takes a lot of practice to make it look that effortless.
That's one of the things that I think I like to try to do is not that it's ever really effortless, but just like someone was talking about this in one of her songs, it's just being in the moment while you're playing. The practice that leads up to it, that's all the really hard work. But then once you are playing in front of an audience, it's like, okay, this is the privilege part. This is the part that I want to just enjoy it. So that's why I smile, because I just enjoy doing it so much. And, I just kind of try to let the music just happen at that point.
Yeah. Well, you clearly have learned your craft, and we are the lucky recipients of this beautiful gift. So thank you so much. One more round of applause for Paul Colombino.
Yes.
Thank you.
So well said, Kim. Ditto. Thank you, Paul. And our last but not least, certainly, performer for this evening is going to be Jim Pritz from Fairview, Oregon. He's returning to us. He likes to play at Artichoke Acoustic Village, and he also plays virtually, I think, in London with a group called the Lockdown Folk. So take us home, Jim.
Alrighty, well, thank you for having me, folks. And that was wonderful, Paul. Thank you for that. Made my night. First song I'm going to do is something I wrote probably 35 years ago. And I've always taken you back to the ocean where that plover lives. This is a song of longing. It's a love song, but it's a song of longing. morning rose today, and I drove down to the bay. I woke up thinking of you, and you've been with me all day. I see you in the distance, and the way the water plays. I hope to meet you someday, my lady of the waves. Were you with me yesterday? And did I just not know? Did you show your smiling face? And did I just not go? Well, a man needs something warmer than his memories that fade. I hope I get another chance with my lady of the waves. Say now, ain't it funny how time just slips on by? You spend your youth deciding where to be and what to buy, and you wake up one cold morning with no one at your side. Maybe I'll still find you, my lady of the waves. But above the blue Pacific, at Jenner by the sea, the ocean calls me back again to where I think you'll be. On the off chance that I find you, I hope you look my way. Above the cliffs of the golden sands, with my lady of the waves. And I hope that you will look for me too, my lady of the waves.
Beautiful.
Well, that was beautiful.
Lovely.
Thank God for the key of C, or the form of C anyway. Like being right there in the middle of the piano. Well, I'm going to do my next song in exactly the same key, but it's got a bit of a different feel. I call it the medicinal rag, and it's my rag on the hypocrisy of medical versus pleasurable marijuana. I haven't smoked a doob in 30 years, but I always did it for the pleasure of it. me my medical marijuana from a herbal dispensary. Used to buy my weed from dealer man somewhat surreptitiously. Back in the day, we'd get stoned and get us some munchies and beer. All smoke pot to get loaded, not through our medicinal fear. I used to smoke dope recreationally, but now it just kills my pain. Smoke the same old stash and it still ignites my brain. But now to take the cure for what ails me that I got at the medicine show. The shit still gets me loaded, and that's what I'm in it for. I mean, I just don't understand it, how it got so out of hand. How the medicine man hoodwinked us all just to sell his particular brand. And all us sage and hippies out there in the front of the pack, it's hats off to the medicine man and his metaphorical crack. Will high times live forever? We'll roll another one. It'll medicate away your personal pain, but to hell with having fun. Too much cannabis sativa just makes you feel too high. We pop a recreational aspirin and you feel just fine. But if you see the salicylic acid, no, it doesn't quite delay that deep paranoid feeling. Then do just what I say. Get on back to the first verse and get some munchies and beer. Start smoking pot to get loaded again like we did in yesteryears. Get high recreationally. Stop crying those medicinal tears. Don't bogart that script, my friend. Pass it over to me.
All right.
Great finishing, Queen.
There you have it. I'll stop bitching and griping now.
Oh, you could just keep playing, Jim Pritz. That was awesome. That was a super fun song, and would be really hard for somebody to play if they actually were under the influence, because that was a pretty complicated song too. Looking at your instrumentation there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Your songs really run the gamut. The first song was a very sweet love song, and your second song was this very upbeat, peppy song. Do you got other stuff in between, or are those your main styles there?
I tend to when I write a song, I tend to just do what I'm feeling about at the time. If I'm watching the news and I don't like what I see, I'll write a song about it. Or if I like what I see, I'll write a song about it. The one in Lady of the Waves was something that I wrote, 36 years ago. And I had Willie Nelson in mind. And I just wrote it for Willie. I never gave it to him, but I wrote it how he would sing it, I thought.
Nice.
And, pounding away on trigger,
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Maybe you should send it to him.
Well, I don't know.
Don't be shy.
Maybe-
Give it a
maybe-
try. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Don't be shy. Give it a try. There's a song in that,
Yeah, there you go. I also love the song on your you have some songs on your YouTube channel. I encourage folks to go look at those and listen to them. I really enjoyed the 1924 song you played, I'll See You in My Dreams. That was just
Yes.
never heard that song before. So I appreciate you bringing these really old songs
I love Tin
out.
Pan Alley, so I do a lot of Tin Pan Alley songs.
Yeah, those are not easy. I mean, as we could all see from watching you play, that takes a lot of work to learn those songs, huh?
I suppose it does. I don't have any choice. I'm going to do it whether I can do it or not, And I've been playing since probably for about 60 years. So
Yeah.
So I've had some time in the woodpile, and
Yeah.
you never have enough time in the woodpile, because just when you get smug, your finger sails off the fretboard and you forget what you're doing, and it happens to everybody,
Do you have any advice for aspiring songwriters or musicians?
Yeah, keep it up. Be honest with yourself, and try when you finish a song, put it away for 2 weeks. Come back to it, and then erase the cliches and start over again.
That sounds like good advice.
Yeah, and there's so many cliches floating around, and some of them are pretty cool, like "Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Pass it over to me." Well, I changed it. I use the word script because that's a prescription, and so I think that's cute that way. But if you just steal somebody else's work, somebody else's words, that's not doing a good job.
It's not being the creative spirit that we want.
It's not being honest.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your songs with us.
You're welcome, and thank you for listening to me. And it's really great to be here.
Yeah, we'll hope you'll come back. One more round of applause
right.
for Jim Pryts, please.
Go Jim and go
Thank you so
everybody. So we have come to the end of our evening. I would like to thank everybody who is watching us on YouTube. This will stay up so you can see it again. Let's thank our performers just one by one here. Mark Bishop Evans, Deb Weslow, Stuart Campbell, Larry Hicks, Jan Luby, Rosemary Austin, Matt Meehan, Halelupe, Paul Colombino, and Jim Pritz. And I hope I didn't forget anyone. Thank you to our show engineer who is invisible today, Laura Bordowitz, and to Kim Alexander for those wonderful interviews. And as always, thank you to Capo Dave Williams, our founder, for working tirelessly behind the scenes to make this all possible. Remember to check our website, openmicamerica.com, for links to the work of all the performers. And if you like the show, don't keep it a secret. Spread the word. Download, print your own posters from the website or t-shirts, and just tell people about it. We'll be coming the first 3 weekends of each month. Please check out your local open mics. Some of them we've mentioned here, and some are mentioned on our website. Our next show is March 13th with Alice Osborne as MC and Pete Summer doing the interviews. And Laura Bordowitz again is our show engineer, and as always, Capo Dave Williams behind the scenes. Stay tuned for the next full lineup, and you can find it on openmicamerica.com and on the YouTube channel. So, that all being said, everybody mute yourselves, please, and wave. Good night, America. Mute, mute, mute.
If you meet me at the corner of Russell and Albina, just about a block from Mississippi Avenue, I'll take you to a house where they hang carpets on the wall. And if we go there on a Sunday, there's a song I'll take you through.